Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Mixed Media Frenzy. And by the look of the mess on my desk, you can tell the name is very appropriate. There has been a frenzy here, and I don't even know where to start. Okay, so I always start with the original. This is an amazing original by Christina for Florilège Design. And I have seen this before and I have been admiring it. I love that she's got this kind of torn paper, and where it goes out and then comes back in is where her circular photo is. And everything looks like it's popped up on about 20 layers of foam. So I've got my foam sheet ready here, and it's a coordinating pink color. And what I'm going to do, as you know, I'm doing the Mind the Scrap Summer Challenge, and one of the requirements is black cardstock. So I didn't want to do this whole piece in black, so I'm going to do that in white, but I'm going to use this Vicky Bouton pattern paper as the blue, and then I'm gonna kind of line it with some torn black cardstock. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. So I need to clear all this stuff. Let me kind of show you a little bit what I'm getting, and then as I show it to you, then I can put it off the desk. I have this box that is kind of cryptically labeled tags, labels, and tabs. And in it, I've just kind of tossed things. As you can, I'm not sure what that's doing in there, but just from when I found them in junk boxes and places, these I know are Maggie Holmes. I'm getting better at kind of remembering some of the names of the designers and collections, but when I get a kit in and don't use it all and stuff, or if I buy things at Tuesday morning and kind of, look at these, aren't those cute? Anyway, I have a ton of stuff in there, and I went through it and pulled out these things. I'm sure I won't use them all, but one thing that's kind of cool is I found this little tag. It's like a swimsuit tag. These look just like the swimsuit tags when you go to the pool. They give you a tag and a number, and I'm not quite sure why, but yeah, it says 3, and I'm on team 3, so that's going to make it onto the layout. And I've got various and sundry other things. There's floral ephemera required this week, so I've got this, and this little tab is stuck to it, so I'm going to fussy cut around it. And then, I don't know if you know, on the original, there are these kind of this little stack of tags or tabs, and they're kind of all over, and they don't have anything on them. And I think that's kind of a cool idea. They're there just kind of for the shape and the color. So I've got this little tray, which I'm going to put aside and draw from later. I have, let's see, you'll notice that there's all this, there's this kind of pattern right there, and it goes kind of over onto this paper. And then there's some like splats and splatters around. So I've got a ton of different colors of Heidi Swapp Color Shine that will match colors in my on my page. I've got a stamp from this set. You've seen me use this. In fact, I've used it so much that the stamps aren't clinging to the plastic sheet. It's Exclusive Textures, Art by Marlene, Signature Collection from Studio Light. And I will try to put that name because I get questions every time I use this stamp set. And I bought the stamps from Redefine Creative. So I will put a store link to Redefine Creative in there so that you can get them from her. And let me put those aside because I've already got that stamp on my block. And that's going to make this little, I chose the one that's going to make the little dotty pattern, and I'll just kind of move it all around. I also have a couple other stamp sets that are as yet unopened. where I've got this little ink splotch and then I've got these two, kind of 3 different sizes. So I'm going to pull those out, and I may actually use this one too. It's got these kind of random dots around. So we'll see what I do with those. And I'm going to use those. That's going to be up kind of first once I do a couple other things. Let me put that aside along with the foam. Now, the flowers that she has in hers looked like either hand-drawn or stamped in light ink and maybe watercolored. And so what I did instead, I have this piece of just plain typing paper that I pulled a print off my gel plate during the Vicki Boutin class last Thursday. And my paint had begun to dry up, so a lot of the paint stuck to my brayer, which is why I have the streaks in there. But Vicki has, and there, you know, my brayer left lines and stuff. Vicki said, embrace the white, so I'm embracing all kinds of things these days. What I did was I took all those colors of Heidi Swapp Color Shine. This is the Sweet Mint. I've got a hot pink, a lime green, and the purple, I was kind of disappointed. It's called Amethyst, and it kind of came out that way. It looks kind of a brownish purple on the outside, and then all of the shine kind of stays in the middle. So not my favorite, but it's different. So anyway, I pulled this, cut it in half, stamped it with, let's see, do I have that stamp around anywhere? I don't. It's a Vicki Boutin floral stamp. I splattered all of these, and then I stamped them, and then fussy cut them out because I pulled the die out. I was maybe going to do the die cutting on camera. I pulled the die out, and I have no idea where it ended up. It's lost. So I'm going to put that away. This is a tray with some floral ephemera from Rosie's Studio, and that's from Rosie's Studio. I have a star. I have some flair, and shh, don't tell anybody about this one. This is a picture, a photo from Texas, and so I have a little map of Texas that says y'all, and that's part of a special flair release that Adam made up especially for the Scrapping Reflections retreat that's coming up in September. So everybody's going to be getting one of these, but he gave me an extra set. So I'm cheating and using it on this layout because it's all about Texas. So let's see, where's my photo? I have misplaced my photo, or is it under here? Y'all, if I can't find my photo. Okay, the photo is of my son and me in front of the swinging door. And when he was 9, we moved to this neighborhood, and we made a deal with the builder to landscape our home, and rather than have the builder's landscaper come in and just put, you know, 3 shrubs here and a line of shrubs there and a tree here and there. I wanted and had designed a special landscape. So before we had actually moved in, my husband and son and I came out, and I have some great pictures of it, and we landscaped the house ourselves without even knowing whether our loan was going to be approved or whatever. So the deal I made was, if we moved in, I wouldn't charge anything for the landscape, but if we didn't move in, if things didn't go through, he would pay me what he normally pays a builder, which would have been a fraction of what we spent on the materials. So anyway, while we were doing that landscaping, we were filthy and dirty and covered with mud, and we smelled like mulch. We were looking for a place to eat because, of course, we didn't live in that house, and we had no kitchen to cook in. And so we just started driving down a road that we'd never been down before. We found this barbecue place. Turned out to be absolutely the very best barbecue we have ever eaten. And it's the barbecue against which we have always measured all other barbecue. And I will tell you, nothing in Georgia or South Carolina or Tennessee or California or New York or Chicago or anywhere comes anywhere close to the Swinging Door in Richmond, Texas. So I wanted to use that on this page, and I've got a photo that I filtered of a plate of food. I've got this I have a punch that that punches the state of Texas. It's the cutest little punch. I found it in the bargain bin at Joann about, I don't know, 5 years ago. So, and for a while, every time I scrapped a picture that was taken in Texas, I try to sneak in one of these little maps. But I kind of got out of that habit, so I'm getting back in there. And in Texas, they call barbecue Texas Q. And so my title is 'Q. And I've checked, and that does meet the requirements for using a pink alpha for the Mind the Scrap Challenge. So I'm going to kind of try to work that in somehow like that on the page. So enough of the stories. Let's get down and do some work. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is cut the branding strip off here because I need to, and I thought I wouldn't need my trimmer, so I kind of put it off to the side. I need to use it with the words going the right way. So here we go. I'm going to just kind of tear it down, and let me just kind of refresh myself here. And I have to remember, I'm just going to start it here and kind of swing it out here. And kind of go down there. Okay, reasonably close. Let me put that aside and I'll use it again. And now I'm going to try to tear the black cardstock in roughly the same shape. And then I'll kind of use it a bit as almost a shadow on it. And you can see that not much of it is showing right now. I can improve that by just kind of scooching it over a bit. Okay, done. Now, if I just move this a little bit over like that, I get a little more of that black showing. And it made a nice, really, the rag content in this paper is high, so it made a nice raggedy edge there, which I love. A lot of people use it on the other side, so you get a cleaner torn edge. I like for all the guts to show. So let me put this on here, and then I'm gonna kind of glue it the way I'm gonna want it to go. And then I can get an idea of, did I do that wrong? No. Okay, this is what I'm doing wrong. Okay, I want it out, I guess, that much. Let me get it straight. I'm running it along the grid lines that are on that pattern. Okay, so there. That's where that's going to go. And I'm going to make some marks kind of just inside there to kind of show me where things are going to be while I do my stamping. Okay, so I have my, I'm going to make these dots and some of the splotches with this peacock feathers color. And let me do something else here. This is going to go probably right there, and there probably will be about a flower's length out here. So I just need to be sure that my stamping kind of comes out all around there. Okay, so kind of out there, following that line. Okay, I have no idea whether this is going to work. I'm going to do the splatters, some of them in let's do, I'll just put it down and not worry about getting it perfect. I'll put the splatters in black, both black and this color. So let me kind of get some of that around there. And then I'm gonna kind of do some along this line, but I'm gonna curve it this way. There we go. And I'm going to do another one up in the curve up there. You've heard me say many times that I regretted not doing my stamping before I put the dimensional objects on, and I've done way too much of that. So I think that's the last I'm going to use of that particular stamp. And I need to put it over with the stamp set, so that's done. Now, I'm going to do the splatters. I'm going to use a small stamp, and I'm going to put some where I think they will probably show, but I'm fully expecting that they may not. They may get covered up. So I'm just going to do that there. I'm going to do another one here, thinking that, but my feeling is that the stamp is small enough that I can probably go kind of redo some of it. So I think this color teal is going to look good with the pink flowers. I kind of like that combination, and I'm going to bring in a few teal embellishments. So I'm going to put this stamp back on here, but leave it close by. In case I have to reuse it. Now I'm going to do some larger splats, and I'm going to do these in black, just for the heck of it. I could do some in pink. My other color that I have on here is pink, and there is a Distress Oxide color called, I think, Picked Raspberry would be perfect for the color paint I have on there. So let me pull that out of the box and see if I can do a couple. I'll do a couple small splatters with the Picked Raspberry. And kind of overlap it in some places. Maybe put it right there, have one right down here, and over here. I have no idea. Let me kind of put that there. It's showing past this, let's see, I might need one right up there. So that's kind of cute. It's kind of sticking out around there. And these, I have no idea where I'm going to place the flowers yet, so we'll see how that works. Okay, now I'm going to do black ones. And these are really going to show up. So I kind of want to be sure that I have them in a good place. I'm thinking right here might be a good spot. Okay, and maybe facing the other direction. I think I don't like the large stamp pad for that, so I'm gonna put that away and put it on the same one that the pink pad was on. Let me put that back there. And it didn't get fully inked up, so I'm gonna go for maybe right there. And we'll see, that should kind of show up above there. So we'll see if I have to go back in with a stamp. I'll go back in with one of the small ones, but I'll probably use black ink because I love how that is looking right now. I do like the pink and the aqua. So now let's start putting foam on everything. And then I'll keep this around in case I want to do some of that. In fact, let me just kind of do a little bit of that. I'm gonna do it on one side, just kind of do a little bit of pink right there. And on this one, I'm gonna do a little bit of black, maybe right up in there. Okay, and I'm getting, there's little bits of inky fingers that managed to get over in the nice clean white part. And that is, it's not advisable, it's not intentional, it's just part of being Scrappy Kathy. So I'm not gonna change it or try to fix it or do anything about it. I may, if it bothers me enough, I may put something over it. Okay, I'm ready to put this down and start building this puppy. Let's get that there. Get that out from under it, I suppose would be good. Okay, and I will wait until I get the cluster built kind of maybe right there. Right now, I'm gonna do a few squares of foam to start everything out. Everything gets built around the photo cluster, the photo. Okay, let me get this, make sure this is back on camera. Okay, there we go. And yes, I'm aware there's a big white spot there, but I'm thinking that my floral cluster will cover that up. If it doesn't, I can fix it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this kind of right here. Okay. And should I put like actual splatters first? Let's do that. I usually wait for that till after it's done. But in this case, I kind of really want to do things in the right order because of all of the dimension. Okay, that color I used was Sweet Mint. This one is Citron. And I'm gonna splatter on the black as well. I've got some white here to splatter on the black, just to kind of get that look of the mixed media extending over to the scripty paper. Let me do some paint. This one really needs to be shaken out. Hoping to get a few dots of that on the kind of the white part there. I'm gonna do this. This is not Hottie Swap Color Shine. It is Hero Arts Neon, but I kind of want this. I have a possible I'm possibly going to use a neon colored Bramble Fox perspective, and it's this color, so I wanted to be sure to add that to the composition. It won't hurt things if I don't use the Bramble Fox, but if I do, it will kind of, I don't know, justify it or explain it. Or, and this is the gold, which I'm running out of, but that's okay. All right, and here's the Bramble Fox perspective that says, well, let me turn it the right way. It says, yay, and it's that Day-Glo orange. Okay, so I've got the splatters on. Let me wipe that up with a paper towel. As you can see, I've blotted some splatters already today. So there we go. And I think I'm able to use it now. I need to lift my chair, and let me get this photo back on here. Now, there are no there are no colors in the photo that would justify my color scheme. My color scheme is purely driven by the fact that that was the best jelly print to use for what I was going for. Okay, I'm gonna pull the original and kind of see. It looks like she's got a flower right here, and I have an empty spot right there. So that's a question of which flower do I want to use. There's one with primarily the pink. This has the Day-Glo and the turquoise. This has the green. This has the purple. I'm going to go with this one because there are all of those other colors by it. So now this is going to get a million layers of foam tape. And it is, I forgot to tell you this. It is plain typing paper, which is not acid-free. I have a spray, and what made me think of it is I can kind of see some evidence of the spray there. I have some spray that makes it acid-free because I really don't want my pages deteriorating. I'm not a fanatic about it, but I have seen the results. I'm old enough to have seen the results of storing photos in photo books, photo albums that are not acid-free. Okay, I'm gonna overlap that because I have these other two things to put on there. And where did I go with those two things? You know, this is an embarrassing mess. Let's see, that goes someplace else. It's not here. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, they're small, and and I don't do small, so I'm having trouble finding them. Okay, so I want to do the state of Texas, the Texas state map right there. And the food, which has all the wrong colors, maybe kind of coming out of there. And then maybe something else. That would work because it's mostly covering up the black part. Okay, so this is going to get just one layer because I'm going to cluster around it. Let me see. I've filtered it, so it's hard to tell whether it's right side up or not. And I'm going to set the state of Texas kind of over that. This was a scrap of some Paige Evans paper that I had originally intended to do some fussy cutting from. I don't want to cover the word swinging. Okay, so that works. Now I'm going to layer a flare right there. Just okay, don't really want to do that. I'm going to do one that's kind of got colors, and I have two different pinks here because I wasn't sure how it was gonna, which one was gonna work. I would say this brighter one because it's the color of the alpha. So I'm gonna put it right in there, and then that little area up there will be done, and I can assess whether it's perfect because it has little stars. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. And that's that's a song that is sung at every Astros game at seventh inning stretch when you normally sing in addition to what you normally sing, which is Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So it was kind of cool being back where they do that. I have this little silly piece of a die cut that kind of is left over from an old project, and I'm determined to use it rather than throw it away because it's cute. And so I thought kind of sticking it into just a random spot like that as part of a cluster would just add a little bit of color. Okay, so yay. And there are some, right on the original, there are some tags kind of showing up. So I'm gonna slide this Chamel tag. I think it's from Glitter Girl. It's holographic there before I do much other layering, and there's kind of room there for, I have a little tab here, but I thought maybe I'd put the tab up there and then maybe do my floral ephemera. I have several examples of floral ephemera. I don't want to use that whole piece. I want to use something fairly small. So let me see if I can kind of scooch that down. I can, especially if I cut this off. And I think I'm just going to put some tape on the back. Let's see. There. And I can kind of, now I think I want foam tape. Because everything is dimensional. This layout, the original, is the epitome of dimension. It's kind of the highlight of the page. And the reason this floral ephemera makes me happy is that it has some yellow in it, which kind of goes with this little thing I put in there. And I've probably got a spot for something like this, maybe layered in over there. I don't know if I'm going to use that, but I've got to remember that I also have this 3. I thought I might put it over this way, but I think it's time maybe to do another flower, and I hate to cover that up, but I think I'm going to, and I'll maybe put it down here so that you can see there is a tag going across there. Okay, and I'm going to put this one on only 2 layers of foam tape, so that it looks like it's lower than, and so that it will be lower than that that flower there. Let's put this on here a little bit different way so it doesn't look like an exact copy of the flower. And it's on a different part of the jelly plate print. So this one I am maybe gonna cut in half and layer it flat kind of out this way. Okay, now I've got the green one and the mostly pink and orange one. I'm going to put the green one here and then do this one here so that it kind of comes down like that. Okay, this is actually going faster and working out nicer than I expected. I thought I would faff around more. Go there, and then this one I'm going to do on 3 layers to really pop it up high. Maybe I'll go 4 even. And here's where I'm going to try to put in that, let's see, I have some twine. I'm going to put in that little tag. It's a different color pink from the flowers, and I'm hoping that doesn't make a difference. I have used this kind of salmon pink up here, but there isn't much of it in there. We'll see. Now, the title is Texas Q. This yay is just an embellishment, right? So I'm thinking it can go there. The photo is still up higher. So I may try to put a tiny bit of adhesive tape there, and I kind of want to use this maybe up here to kind of fill that in. I do. Okay, so here's a little bitty tiny strip of adhesive to go up by the exclamation point in the exclamation point area to kind of bridge that gap. And let me see if that's enough to bridge it. It is not. So I need to cut another little tiny piece. And so I'm just kind of cutting off the ends there. I have to be sure that I get back over here in your sight lines. I tend to bring these things closer just probably so that my old eyes can see them better. But that doesn't help you. You're the ones investing your time in watching all of this. I would be making this layout anyway, so the least I can do is give you something that doesn't drive you crazy as you're watching it. And okay, that's on there. Let me see. I've got another sticker here. It's a clear sticker, so I'm actually going to put it on some scrap of white paper and then fussy cut it. And I'm going to layer it up on top of that Chamel one just to kind of give it a look of layered, because again, this is all about layering and dimension here. Okay, let's see if I can do this over here. That should be good. Now that was a piece of typing paper I pulled out of the trash can, and you did not see me spray it with any of the acid-free stuff. So I'm taking a little bit of a risk with it, but this is kind of the extent that I would go to. I did not want as much as those flowers have on them to have the potential for acid. So let me do that. Okay, and that's here. This is kind of looking like I might be able to kind of slide it in under there. I'm going to put a little bit of foam on it. I have a little tiny bit right here. I don't think I'm going to put any twine on it. I don't want the distraction of the twine. And yeah, this is me talking distraction. All of my layouts are about distraction. All about distraction. Okay, let's see. I have another. Let me pull out my special y'all now I wish I had. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit of work. I'm going to try to I'm going to cut one of these circles in two and put it over to one side so that that's the side that's being supported. And the other side, I'll just put some glue on the rim and help it stick to the, and what did I do? There it is, okay. Help it stick to the other, to the little tag there, the number 3 tag. Okay, so hopefully that will prop it up enough. It does not, so I can do a little piece of this on it. This is a little bit thicker than that. Okay, there. And now I'm going to add the glue to this side, just the rim. Okay, and let me see if I can get my finger loose of that. Kind of peel these up and go right there. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to take some some more floral ephemera that I'm going to cut from this circle. I'm going to leave it in ephemera form, just going to cut it into a smaller piece. I'm not going to fussy cut it, in other words. Let's see how would that work? Oh, okay, I'll just do it that way. I will not even cut anything off of this. I cut it, it's the other part of that, and this was the piece I had cut, but I kind of like it like that. Okay, and I need something right here, so I have another piece of ephemera. I have the geotag, which normally I like to think of putting geotags up at the top, and I could do that. No, I like it better here. And it's the perfect teal color to go with those splotches I used. And of course I've covered up a lot, so I think I need to go back and do some little bit of stamping. Oh, let me pull that out. It's a little too far up in there. There. Okay. Now, and there's a twine or thread bit there, and I have a couple colors of thread. I'm thinking black might be the right. It's not in here. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hot pink. Hot pink. So, yeah. Let me do that. And maybe I don't need to go back with stamping. Although, where's my little tiny stamp? I can see that I would enjoy seeing a little stamp there. And the thing is, do I want it in, I think I want it in the teal color. So let's do that. And maybe I'll do another one in the pink color, and I'm not going to clean the stamp off, so it may end up being a more purpley sort of pink. Maybe right there. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And I'm thinking I need a little bit down here. That's already pink, but who cares if it gets some more pink? And I'm gonna kind of go back like this, and that's what I mean by dimension before stamping. So I also have I have to use a white pen, so I have to remember that. I can use a black pen to doodle some details over top of the stamping and around the stamping. So I'll do that, particularly in these areas that look like the stamp is just kind of sitting there looking silly. So I'm gonna do a couple these areas to make up for the fact that I didn't get full coverage on that stamp, and that's okay. I don't ever need to get full coverage. So got a few dots there. Let's do a few here. I'm going to surround that, and so now I'm going to take some of the spots that I made and just draw little circles around them. some of the things that might otherwise read as messy, and you know, I'll just go make them really messy. I'll draw your attention to how messy they really are. Okay, here is a really messy thread piece. I'm going to put it right there. Let me get the glue down. And kind of just set it in there, move this over, and let it kind of come out. And I kind of like that those are curling. I thought I might do another one right in here, maybe not quite as big. I think I got this thread in one of the Layout Palooza kits from Christina Sword, and I love the color, and so I actually pulled it out of the kit to take it to Joann's and see if I can match it and buy some upholstery thread in that color, because I use this color a lot. Okay, and then I need some down here just to, that goes over the black, and maybe even some up in here. So I think this is going to keep me from having to do any more stamping. And thank you, Christina, for the perfect color thread. Oh, I just almost cut my finger there. And I wound it a little too tight, so this one's going to be kind of tightly wound and not as messy, but I can kind of pull it apart there. And I just want a small one to go kind of right in here anyway. And let me get my popsicle stick and kind of moosh that down into there. And that's good. The important parts are sticking to the glue, and it won't come undone. And if it does, I try to put, I'm way behind, but I try to put pages into albums when I know I've been doing a lot of thread beds, because with handling, I know they're gonna kind of untwirl, and I'd prefer to keep them nicely twirled. Okay, and you know, do I need another one here? I'm just gonna put thread all over the place here, because it just adds to the texture, and it kind of goes with the color scheme. So I know you're getting tired of seeing me do these things, but I feel like I need another one maybe right here, just a little bit peeking out from under here. And I could have solved that problem by just putting the flare on a thread bed like Natalie Nelson makes, but you know, I'm not that good. So there for a while, every time I put flare down, I put it on a thread bed, and then I kind of thought, well, you know, I'll try something different. Now this is going to be tough, because I'm going to lift this up. I really need to lift up the black cardstock. Now don't forget to remind me that I need to use a white pen on this layout. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet. And that, yes, I know I got glue on my tweezers and I'll have to wash it off, but I can do that. Okay, so that works. Now, I think what I'm going to do, this photo was taken on June 30th. It's hard to believe it's been almost a month since we were there. You know, it's kind of looking at that. So I have 2 white pens that are running out of ink, and I'm going to just kind of doodle and write a date. I'm going to sneak my date in right here. So I'm going to doodle. So if I press hard and make circle-y dots, you can see the white ink. And to be honest, I'm not sure if I have to actually journal with it or if doodling is okay, but I can certainly do it. So I'm going to put right here, June 30th, 21. And I will have journaling that explains the story. It was our Celebration of Life tour, and this was just definitely one of John's favorite places. And I think I've told the story before about when we used to go there, including that first time when we went as we were doing the landscaping. There's right outside the window of the table that they sat us, and they sat us kind of in our own little section rather than with the general, population, because, maybe they, caught a whiff of the aroma. I've got another one of these, and it's just so cute. I'm gonna cut it down and in as a nod to her things. Anyway, to continue the story, right outside that window was a big, gigantic palm tree and a little lake. And the lake had ducks in it. And James, 9 years old, loved going out and playing with the ducks. And he always, in fact, for a while, he called the barbecue place the place with the ducks. So the lake is pretty much dried up and grass has kind of grown over. There was some water in it, but it's no more than just a depression in the ground now. And but the big palm tree is there. So we spread some ashes by the palm tree. Okay, so there's 3 different heights and layers of where are my hearts? Oh, there they are. Okay, looking for Bramble Fox hearts. 3 different heights of labels as a nod to hers. So I have some hot pink, I think. I think these are hot pink and not red. Little hearts from Bramble Fox, and they're kind of clear and gorgeous. So I kind of wanted to sprinkle at least one, maybe a couple on here, because the color is so vibrant and it's so perfect for all the other pinks. So I thought I would do one on this little tab up here. And I kind of want to spread the glue around so it's not a glob. It doesn't kind of discolor the heart. So I like that there. Maybe another tinier one down here. Maybe just a little bit south of the geotag. And then I think we're done. So let me put this back up and I'll leave it there while I'm peeling things. Let's see, have I missed anything I really liked? I really looked for, she's got a, and it looks like it might be hand-drawn and fussy cut, but this is like a beaker with water and a stem of flowers. I looked for something that I could maybe I could have drawn it, of course, but I looked for something to use for that because I love that bit of it. So I'm gonna maybe do this. Maybe do it, I'm gonna do one a little bit closer in, because I thought it might be cool to put it over a circle. Let's see if I'd want it maybe there. So let me put a circle there. And I'm gonna touch it with some glue, kind of dab it off with my finger and put that on and use that so that my finger doesn't touch it. Oh, and it's the perfect angle because this one is at that angle and this one's at that angle. So I love it. Okay, I'm done. There's mixed media on the flowers and underneath the flowers, and sadly a lot of it is covered up, but even some of it made it over onto Vicki Boutin's gorgeous paper. I think I've used, I have one more of these on here. Where should I use it? I'm gonna maybe try to just use it white on white right there. Okay, there we go. Now I can throw this this away. That is from a Chamel sticker book from what might have been my very first Mind the Scrap kit. So you remember when Glitter Girl came out? That's when I got my first Mind the Scrap kit, I think. And I, at the time, did not know who Chamel was, because when I was going to stores like Archivers, Chamel wasn't a thing. Amy Tangerine was the only designer whose name I actually knew in those days. And then I think some Dear Lizzie stuff showed up in the store, but I didn't know Dear Lizzie's last name, so I didn't consider her a friend like I did Amy Tangerine. So anyway, it's when I started getting the kits, it gave me a smattering of different collections and designers, and it's how I got introduced to Vicki Boutin and Paige Evans. There was a lot of Paige Evans in one of our kits. So I'll thank you, Emma, for introducing me to people who play such a big part in my life right now. This is a strange version of this page. As I look at it, I'm looking at it now. I stood up. I'm looking at it through the same camera lens that you're seeing, and I'm not able to read the yay as clearly as I had hoped, but the photo is kind of surrounded by things that have absolutely no relationship to anything, but you can clearly see James's Astros Texas shirt there. So so there's the original, and there's my strange rendition of it. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next week for Mixed Media Frenzy and around. Bye.